So this is jasmine, coconut, aloe, a little bit of a breeze on the beach, and musk. So it's meant to smell as though you've slathered yourself in sunscreen and baked. It's Saint-Tropez, but I call it Los Angeles spray too.
Why are they tinkering and selling their stuff?
So in an alcohol, well, you know, I had a lot of concerns about that in the beginning. Now, fragrances, on the most part, are quite stable because they're in an alcohol. They're usually an alcohol. They're not a preservative. The more unstable things are kind of cosmetics because you have separation. You have, I've actually sat with most of these perfumes for quite a while now, and they don't come out of solution. They don't. Some of my naturals might cause a little bit of sediment, but I filter them.
And you're sitting there mixing them at room temperature, you're not heating up or...
Well, some things need to be heated because you don't heat with the alcohol, you heat with the oil because at room temperature, a lot of naturals go solid. So there's some things that are like the consistency of molasses. Yeah, so you need to heat them up for them to go into solution.
And it's not like a wine. Once you've mixed it, that's it. It's not going to mature, and it's not going to.
Some things develop a little bit, like patchouli ages, the vanilla goes darker. Some things do get a little better. Most of the time, like I have a bottle of my grandmother's perfume from the mid-50s, and it still smells terrific.
What's that?
It's called Sirocco. It was by a perfumer named Lucien Lelong. It was a fashion designer, and that was his most famous perfume is Tailspin. Yeah, it's like your grandma has. It's like a very exotic Oriental. That was there. It was very exotic. It was an exotic Christmas perfume. But no, for the most part, we use pretty inert ingredients, so you're not going to have like an explosion. You're not going to have anything crazy. I mean, the worst thing that happens is it gets murky or you get sediment or something. But for the most part, no, because it's really the naturals that are more challenging to work with. The synthetics go in quite easily because they've been developed as perfume ingredients. And for fragrance, can we spray Brussels too? So this is our perfume of the month, and this is also from the same series. This is called Brussels Sprouted. I was told that Brussels sprouts have been renamed British sprouts. Is that true?
Oh,
Very good.
So this does not smell like cabbage, if you were. It smells of the forest after the rain. So it's like a wash of the woods. It's the smell of like a kind of a clean earth. It's crushed leaves. It's wet wood.
It's very nice. I think it's particularly great.
I love it. It also reminds me of Hawaii in a strange way.
No, that is lovely.
Because it's some of the green notes.
Yeah, like sprouts. That's lovely.
What's actually in that, friends?
That is lovely.
It's earth. It's greens. It's maybe I think it's Himalayan.
How did you get the after the rain?
The dampness.
Yeah.
It's an accord.
Beautiful, so clever.
So it's got a dampness. Maybe New York.
But no one else is
And are we're doing an autographed bottle of this as well for some sort of drawing?
Yes,
Right.
that's our Fragrant Friday gift. I'm sure you'll sign anything. Won't
I'll
you?
sign it. So this is, I would say, probably a non-traditional composition, not the kind of thing you would find in the department store. But it was me tinkering. It was me. There's a lot of my perfumes that are therapeutic in the scent memories, like It's funny, I actually had a realization today about one of them. It's, you know, I'm an artist first. I've worked in a bunch of different mediums. I've worked, my background is silkscreen printmaking. I've worked in designing clothing, and now I work in this. And this is, you know, the expression of a memory, I would probably say. And it's a very, very specific memory of mine, which I've gotten to share, and that I've been lucky enough to sell. I joke that, you know, every perfume that I did was like a lesson for me. It was a perfume lesson, and I've gotten to sell my apprenticeship, basically, as I kind of learned along the way what I was doing. This is one of my earlier scents that has been, you know, it's been popular since I launched it. I think there's something very comforting about that smell, about the smell of the earth. And I know it rains a lot more here, so
It's very familiar.
it smells like the 70s.
That's what the 70s perfume smelled like. Main
Terrific.
ones.
Fred, do you,
In a good way.
do you start with an idea and work backwards, or do you construct it from the foundations when you make a...
There's
Do you know what
usually,
you're going to in your head? Can you see this?
I can see it, yeah. I usually sketch it out in my brain before I make it. So it either starts two ways. It starts with me wanting to use an ingredient, like if there's something specific, like if I wanted to use the earth, what do you like? It's like you're deciding you want lamb for dinner, what goes with lamb? Or you say, the theme of the party is, and you go that way. Like, I often come up with a name or something, and I decide, oh, well, wouldn't that be cute that we do a perfume about that?
I get the impression you create a muse and then you make the fragrance of, like,
Well, the creative process, and this does not, of course, apply to perfume. I'm sure there's a lot of creative people in the room. When you start, you have an idea,
yeah.
and then it's a puzzle. You say, this is what I'd like it to look like, and then you just have to let it take you where you're going. Because you can try and drive that car. You can steer if you want, but it really, the composition glides you. Like, you end up, you can fight with the ingredients. I really want to put that in there. I really want it to be like this. But ultimately, there has to be some sort of harmony. And you have to go with the grain of the work. I mean, there's a lot of perfumes that ended up very strange. Why is this the way the perfume is? Because that's how it works. Yeah, you find, oh, what's this? I'll work on something. Sometimes something comes together very quickly. It comes together. I really only have to do a few versions of it. Sometimes I'm working on it for weeks. I get frustrated. I leave it. I forget about it. I'll come back to it, 20, 30 takes, like so many ingredients, so many tinker, like, and then you go, oh, if I just add this, and it comes together. So it depends. They're all different cases, but the inspiration, it depends. It's usually an ingredient or a name that doesn't.
Do you have to keep meticulous notes?
Yes. Yes. You must
Four
write everything
drops
down.
of lemon and 5
Yes.
drops of salt.
Oh, yes. It's a big grid. You must keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, you can't. It's
can't
like a happy
remember.
accident, you know? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be terrible? No, you must write everything down. If you are a budding perfumer, my 2 pieces of advice are write everything down. To the T. Like, so that when you go back, sometimes I go back and read my recipes and I'm like, what is that? Is it this lemon or is it that? Like,